Hi everyone, I hope you are well today. It's a cold and rainy morning in Cape Town, and as you can see, Tyson is definitely taking advantage of this weather to chill. There's a heater on and there's some really comfy space. We're waiting for our first client to arrive. Today I have something in my mind, and that is called flipping the coin. What I mean by that is that I see life as consisting of that life is a coin, and each situation has two sides, heads and tails. And if the crappy side is lying at the top, then what we can do is we can flip the coin and it can end up with the side that we want to be on top. How that came to be is that I obviously do a lot of 12-step work on myself, on my clients, responsees, and the ultimate flip the coin concept for me in the 12 steps come at step 7. And step 7 says that we humbly ask our higher power to remove our shortcomings. Now, what we do in the step work is we start at step 4 and we do a fearless and moral inventory of ourselves, and then we acknowledge what the defects of character are or what our shortcomings are. And those defects of character, or the exact nature of our wrongs, as we call them in step 5, those are ultimately the things that cause us to react or act in a way that we do. Let's give you an example. I hear a conversation between two friends, and I immediately think that the person they're talking to is about me. And I start obsessing about what did they mean when they said that he's not doing well, or they are worried about him. I think, why would they be worried about me? And why don't they just go and talk to me? And now I become angry and I become resentful. And all I want to do is I want to go and attack them. And ultimately, they were just not talking about me. So the exact nature of my wrong in that case will be self-centeredness. That I think the world revolves around me and it's all about me, which is not the case. And I will take that exact nature of my wrong and I will address that in step 6 and 7 in terms of identifying the exact character defect, or what do we call it? What did I just call it? Oh, my word. Anyway, so shortcoming. So the shortcoming will be self-centeredness. Now, when I did my step work, my first sponsor said to me, when I get to step 7, I need to draw up a table. On the left hand side, I need to write all my defects of character or shortcomings or exact nature of my wrongs, and in the right hand column I need to write the opposite spiritual principle. And I did that, and the top character defect that I had was fear. I lived my life in fear. It was about things that I were afraid of, was things like I was afraid of the dark, I was afraid of driving. And that came from just not having confidence, just not trusting myself. And therefore I engaged with life in a very fearful manner. It kept me away from living life to the full. And the second biggest defect was self-pity. And I really use self-pity as a tool to manipulate life to get what I want out of life. So I would, for instance, be in a situation and I would think it's quite crappy. And then I will tell you how crap the situation is and how it influenced my life, and how awful my life is because of that. And I will do it in such a way that you really believe that my life is actually truly crap. And you'll feel sorry for me. And then because I now see that you will feel sorry for me, I will manipulate the situation for you to do things for me that I won't necessarily do for myself, or that you won't normally do for me. And it was possibly because I didn't want to do those things out of fear, and then other people did a lot for me that I actually could have done for myself. So what do we do in recovery? The way I lived my life and how the corner of my life was that fear and self-pity were shown to the top as the coin was lying. So the right way to react was lying at the bottom and I couldn't see it. So what I needed to do in recovery was learn to flip the coin. And that would entail that I flipped the coin from fear to what is on the opposite end of fear, faith and trust. So I had to start showing faith in a power greater than myself. I had to start to grow a sense of faith in myself, to trust myself, trust the power greater than myself that they can do and will do for me what I can't do for myself. The opposite spiritual principle of self-pity is gratitude. So I had to learn to, whenever I felt slightly self-piteous, to start drawing up a gratitude list, living gratitude and not in self-pity. And the longer I am in recovery, the easier it becomes to see how defective the defective behavior is, or the exact nature of my wrong is, or the shortcoming is, and how negatively that influences my life. And all I need to do is I need to see the defect happening, and I need to be aware. Awareness is so important, and that's where mindfulness is so important. So I need to be aware of the fact that I am now engaging in self-pity, and then saying, okay, what is the opposite of self-pity? It is gratitude. So I'm not going to be self-piteous, I'm going to show gratitude. And that happened for me yesterday, when I got my tax bill, or I got an indication of what I have to pay for tax, and it was kind of, oh my God, I don't have that money, and I'm never going to have that money. And my first reaction was, oh my God, my life is a shit. And that just proves that I shouldn't aim for things and I shouldn't work for things, because I will never have the money to do what I want to do. And I immediately started spiraling into self-pity. And it suddenly dawned on me, kind of, you know what? No, you are now moving into self-pity. So what's the opposite? Gratitude. And I immediately sat down and had a look at what I'm grateful for. And what I realized was that the tax bill doesn't take away my dreams from me. All it does is it will possibly just delay it slightly. And that's not the end of the world. It's really quite okay. So I stopped spiraling into negativity and I focused on the positive. And it all worked out. And I'm really kind of, it's okay. It is what it is. And I'm extremely grateful for the possibility to have learned what it means that things are what they are. So my advice for you for today is, remember, flip the coin. If something doesn't work for you, lift up the coin, see what's on the other side, flip it over, and do what needs to be done. I hope that helps. Look after yourselves, guys. Bye-bye.